So, welcome to Battlefield Banter. I'm pleased today that rather than playing Mark as usual, I've got a new opponent, Sam Edelston, who some of you who play Memoir 44 may recognize. He runs the ladder that many people play in and have had experience with Memoir 44. Also, this will be Memoir 44's first appearance on the ladder, in part because it's not Mark's favorite game. So we always try to play games we enjoy. We think that brings something to it. And Sam is obviously an expert. So I think what you'll find today during our gameplay is that we'll have a lot of rules clarified or whatever, and we'll see expert play from Sam. Myself, I'm not sure. But Sam, why don't you tell our viewers here just a little bit about yourself, how you came to like memoir, and a little bit about the latter as well. We'll see if we can't get some people that are coming by the banter to sign up for the latter. That would be a worthy goal.
Hey, hi there, Doug. Hi there, audience. So I'll just give you the very fast 360 on myself. Um, One day in about 2007, give or take, or a little bit, I live outside of New York, and I was in New York City for a business thing, and I had a couple of hours toward the end of the afternoon in Midtown Manhattan, and said, you know what? I've never been to the Complete Strategist. I'm going to go to the Complete Strategist. And I went there and I talked to the two guys who were standing at the counter and said, I love Risk and Diplomacy and Axis and Allies, but I don't have enough time to play any of them. What do you recommend? And one of the guys took me back to one of the shelves and said, try this thing. It's called Memoir 44. Um, and it's it was the sister game to Battle Cry, Civil War game, but this one is about World War II. And I already did own Battle Cry. I knew how to play that and liked it. And so I took it home. And sure enough, I just sort of fell in love with the game, especially after I discovered that there was a vibrant community on the website of the publisher, which at the time was Days of Wonder. Days of Wonder is now owned by Asmodee, and they've got a new website. And it doesn't have quite the same social aspect that the old website did. Um, I started playing in tournaments in 2008. The World Board Gaming Championships was my first tournament that I went to with a memoir friend. He was from upstate New York, and we actually met for only the second time at that tournament. And shortly after that, my friend John started a ladder tournament on Vassal. Uh, Doug, is your audience familiar with Vassal?
Oh yeah, they all know Vassal, and it's funny that you mentioned the complete strategist. I made a pilgrimage to there last December. I happened to be in Manhattan at Madison Square Garden watching a basketball game. So the day before, I went by that shop, and very impressive
Mhm.
shop. I'd like hearing that
I've been,
you're.
I, the complete strategist is Mecca, and I've been aware of it since I was a teenager back in the last century. And this was my first time ever having gone there. So um, the the latter tournament that John decided to start, we played it on Vassal, and he made up the rules that basically he would pair people based on where they are in the ladder. And so it's just player one goes against player two, player three against four, five against six, and so forth, a certain number of weeks per round. And in that round, you have to play a two-game match. Each player plays allies once and Axis the other in the other game. And then whoever wins is one of the winners, and whoever loses the match is one of the losers. And for the next round, the deck gets shuffled. All of the winners then go to the top half of the ladder in order, and all of the losers go to the bottom half of the ladder in order. And you repair again, the new one against the new two, and so forth. So Doug and I at the moment are right smack in the middle of the ladder because last round I was number one and I was the king of the hill and I got knocked off the hill. Um, the scenario that we are playing today is called Hill 170, and it's from what you might call a more advanced expansion of Memoir. It's from the Air Pack. Uh, And so, first, I'll tell you that the scenario itself takes place in Burma. It's between the Japanese and the British. So, the Japanese units come from the Pacific theater expansion. The British come from actually the Mediterranean theater expansion. If you don't own those expansions, it's possible to just play this with the base game and just know that the Axis figures are Japanese, not German, and so forth.
So, Sam,
Um,
I've got a question. Does this expansion appear in the flight pack or in what's available now, new flight plan? Which, because I know those expansions over the history of Memoir are a little different. Which one does it appear in?
so this scenario comes from the new flight plan. So what Doug is talking about, dear listeners, is that about 15 years ago there was another air rules thing that came out called the Air Pack, and um, and that I actually like the Air Pack. It had a completely different set of rules for the planes, but it never really caught on like wildfire. And so the designer Richard Borg decided to come out with a new um, air pack, and that one got called the New Flight Plan because it's new and it's basically putting the airplanes on a completely different route. It's well named. Also, during the intervening years, something called combat cards got introduced. Now, I know that combat cards have some parallels in some of the other commands and colors games. I think there might be combat type cards in Ancients, if I'm not mistaken. I know that there's some in the World War I Great War game, and I think they're in some of the others as well.
Yeah, the
Um,
Napoleonics game that has, for viewers of the banter, they've seen the tactics cards, they're called. But yeah, it's a nice mechanic. I think it adds a little bit, just like it does here in Memoir.
yes, but New Flight Plan has air combat cards, which actually follow different rules. Um, and so rather than try to explain them in detail, I'll just say that cards are used to bring a plane onto the board. Um, and when you, there are three kinds of planes there are fighters, bombers, and fighter bombers, each of which has different ammunition complements, and there are some other little differences. And um, so if you play a combat card to bring the plane onto the board, and let's say you play a fighter card and you want to bring on a fighter, then you'll get some special privileges from that card on that one turn. If you use a fighter card to bring on a bomber, you can still bring on the bomber, but it won't get the special privileges of the card.
Gotcha. All right. Well, and
Mhm.
that's a good overview, and I'm sure we're going to come into some of those issues as we play. And that's why I'm so delighted to have Sam on the banter today. He's just a resource, as you can already tell from his comments. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun. It'll be interesting to see how long the game lasts, given my lack of talent. But of any of you,
Uh,
if you're kind of viewing this and you've looked at Memoir 44 and you're looking for more opponents, I would absolutely encourage you to go find the ladder out there. And Sam, here in a second, you can tell them how to do that and sign up. I've probably been on the ladder, I don't know, 2, 3 years, maybe a little more, and I've always met interesting people there. And the way the ladders run, you get a wide variety of opponents at different skill levels. So it's a lot of fun. It gets mixed up. So can you tell everybody how to find the ladder and maybe get signed up, Sam?
okay. Well, is it useful for me to just sort of send you a link in Vassal, and is there a place that you can chat that you can post that for your people?
Yes, I can probably do that. I mean, I think it's on the BGG website. If you kind of search around there,
Yes,
I think that's
it's
how
a
I stumbled across it.
yes, it's on Board Game Geek, and it's a guild. It's boardgamegeek.com/guild GUILD /2709.
Perfect. All right. And so
Okay.
when Mark and I are setting this up on the banter, we'll kind of put some of that information there as well. But
Yeah.
but I know even the
Mhm.
uninitiated, if they search
Yeah.
on Board Game Geek, I think the guild comes up pretty quickly, or I know it did for me because I am not the technology guy that one might assume I am running a YouTube channel. Um, but it was pretty easy to find and everybody was responsive, so it was pretty good. Well, good.
Okay,
Well,
well,
why don't we?
I just put the URL, at least in text form, underneath the deck of cards, underneath the command cards, so that anybody that wants to uh, see it can copy it off of there.
Perfect.
It's not the most practical thing, but hey, it's better than nothing. It just checked something off of our to do list.
Yep, there you go. In
Okay.
fact, I can
Uh,
see it. I can see it there in the chat, so people should be able to see this relative to the recording. So that'll be good. Excellent.
that too.
Well,
Okay, and just to be sure everybody knows the layout of the board, are people able to see my cursor here too? No. Um,
probably
so
not.
Okay, so the upper left-hand corner of the board tells how many cards Axis has. Axis is at the top of the board. He's got six. I'm allies for the first game. Lower right-hand corner of the board says I've got six command cards also. And then the upper right-hand corner shows the number of air combat cards each of us starts this particular game with. I start with three for allies, and Axis starts with two.
Perfect.
And
And then,
it's customary for the player who goes first to draw cards first.
all right. And then I'm gonna put on the screen for everybody to see. Here we go. The scenario description with the conditions of victory that Sam just described. The Japanese Imperial Army will move first, but the six hexes in kind of yellow and orange there in the middle, they form what's called a temporary majority medal objective. For whoever holds a majority of them. So the Allied players begin with a one medal head start. So I'm going to assume then, Sam, for purposes of that, you just have to move through the hex. You don't actually have to own it, or do you need to stay in there? And because you have one unit in there, that's the majority. Is that how that's determined?
It is based on who has more units on that six hill objective at the moment. Moving across it or leaving it means that it doesn't count. You've got to actually physically have a ground unit there. Also,
Perfect.
planes in the air cannot claim a ground objective.
Perfect. Excellent clarification. So, for example, if the Japanese army was able to get two different units in the five remaining hexes, the victory banner would pass to them. And
Right.
is
And it
there?
and if
Go
uh,
ahead. What?
and if both sides have an equal number on the objective, let's say uh, each of us has two units on it, then nobody's got it at the moment, and we would just move it off to the side underneath the deck.
All right. And then I know in Command and Colors Napoleonics, it always occurs at the start of the next turn. Is there, what's the timing of the passing, if you will, of that majority medal?
Temporary majority is instantaneous. Um,
Instantaneous.
so
Okay.
so in the middle of your turn, if you I've seen cases where somebody gets retreated onto an objective in the middle of a turn and got the necessary victory point that way. So it is instantaneous for offense or for defense.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. And
Okay.
I think the beauty of the whole commands and colors system, including Memoir 44, is you're almost never out of it, right? Because it's six or seven, sometimes a little more in the Overlord scenarios. And so the timing of the awarding of things like this can absolutely make a difference. And someone can come from two or three medals behind and score a victory. I've had many games across the system where that's happened, both where I've
Oh
won
yeah.
and both where I've lost. And I think that's what makes it
Oh yeah.
so exciting because you have,
I've got some great. Yeah. Sorry, I've got some great war stories on that, but that'll keep us all afternoon. By the way,
yes.
there is one house rule. There's one house rule that we play in the ladder, which is no airplanes on the first turn.
Oh, okay.
And
Excellent. I
and
think
the reason for that is that there are a couple of combat cards that are capable of wiping out a unit instantly before it has a chance to play. So by giving each player one turn to move their units, it sort of gets rid of that defect in the rules.
excellent. That's a good clarification as well. All right.
Mhm.
Well, I can't think of any other questions I've got off of the bat. I'm sure they're going to come up, and which is always
Okay.
instructive to the viewers in the banter.
Mhm.
Since I go first, I think the courtesy is I draw up first. Is that what we do?
Mhm. So you draw six command cards and two combat cards. And while you're doing that, I do want to mention one rule that I had either not ever noticed before or forgot about that I just noticed yesterday when I was looking through the rule book again, just making sure I was prepped for the match, which is the Japanese and British armies each have some special rules. And so I noticed for the first time that those nation rules don't apply when a ground unit is attacking a plane. So if a Japanese infantry uh, is at full strength and battles um, in close assault, normally it would roll an extra die. It's a but but against a plane, it does not roll the extra die. Also, um, a Japanese infantry can move to and close assault, which is not standard for other nations. Um, but you can't do a bonsai charge with your swords out against an airplane. It just doesn't work somehow.
Right. Okay. In fact, I know in hearing that, let's see. I'm looking at the scenario help, and I don't think the Japanese Imperial Army card is up there. So let me take a minute here. I think I can find that in the compendium. Uh,
Yep.
and I'm going to put this up
Oh,
on
son of a gun! They didn't put it there. Yeah.
yeah, I'll put this up on screen so all of you
Yeah.
viewers that aren't as familiar with Memoir can see that. So here you see the compendium, just an excellent summary. It's all these little cards that are helpful to put up on your screen as you're playing. Let's see, standard units, specialized units. Nope.
Hey, Doug, would you like me to put that in the scenario help with all the others?
Sure. Uh,
Okay,
I'm
give me just a
wondering why
second,
I
and
can't find it. Nations.
it'll be under nations,
Ah, there we go.
and it's
Nations.
Imperial Japanese Army,
There it
and I've
is.
got it here, and I will just drag it into the bottom of. Okay, so are people able to see the scenario help?
Uh, I don't think so, but I did the same thing at the same time, so we're good to go. I
Mm-hmm.
took that little card and I've got it sitting there at the bottom of my map, so they can kind of
Hmm.
see it. That should be good. There we
Okay,
go.
and
All right.
I'd better draw my
Yeah,
combat
I'm
cards
all
also.
drawn up. I'm good to go there.
Okay, and my cards have been drawn, and good luck, and let's have fun.
Yes, let's have fun. And thank you so much for the introduction. I think that's helpful and it kind of adds to it. So Bonsai War Cry. Japanese infantry may move 2 hexes to combat into close assault. That's something that I think the viewers will want to keep near and dear. They can see my cards. Obviously, you can't. Um, so this is going to be interesting. Let's see. I've been looking forward to this game for a while. Um, all right. Why don't we play this card? Can you see
Okay, and it's
that right now,
customary,
the
by the way.
boards?
Yes, but it's customary to play your cards onto either onto the board like this or onto the sideboard like that. And it's helpful, actually, I find, to do it onto the sideboard um, rather than onto the playing board. So
Okay.
why do we do that? We do that because let's say that your first card that you played recon and force for your turn, and you put it there, and then it's my turn, and I play a recon and force also. If I put it onto the discard stack, then people don't necessarily see that their opponent has played a card. So by
Excellent.
playing it to the sideboard, you can see that there are two recon and forces, one from the previous player and one from the new player.
All right.
Um, the
Perfect.
reason we don't put it, the reason we don't play it onto the actual playing board is I don't know whether this still is capable of happening in the current version of Vassal module for Memoir, but sometimes it was possible for a card to pick up units. So when you drag the card off to the discard pile, you were also moving or even discarding a bunch of units.
Oh,
It
wow.
could be an awkward situation. Yeah.
Yeah, that would not be good. I've never had that happen, but I know some of the players they
Mhm.
like to throw it on the table, but I like your idea of putting it off to the side. It makes me a little busier as I'm trying to keep my hand up there, but that'll work. I can adjust that. So
Mhm. Yep.
recon in force.
Okay.
Let's go there. We're gonna order our 3 units, one in each sector. There we go. 3 units ordered, and we'll move them up in turn. Just one. So that's the move. That's complete.
Mhm.
And then I will end my turn and draw up and then end my turn.
Yeah.
So let me draw my command card.
Yeah. Yeah. Personally, I find it helpful to just I'll hit the end turn button and then I'll drag a card off of the top of the deck on my way to on my way down from ending turn. Doesn't matter which order you do it in.
All right. Yeah, I always try to hit that end turn button last. So it
Hmm.
shows up in the chat that way. But either
Hmm.
way. All
Yeah.
right, over to you for your first turn.
Okay. I'm going to think for a moment or two. And then, okay, playing all on the right. I'm going to get my artillery off of the back line. And I like to move my units one hex at a time. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't move anything until you discard.
Oh, right. Let me, you know what?
I'm so busy talking that and
There-
technically this guy in front is ordered also, but he's not doing anything. So I've
Okay.
done everything I want to on this turn, and I'm ended turn and drew a card.
All right. Yeah, and it's funny, little newbie mistake on my part. I had been playing a lot of Command and Colors Napoleonics, where the infantry can only move one hex, and I think you're right. In Memoir, you can move two and not battle. And
Correct.
and obviously the infantry has a longer range. I call it the 3-2-1, where I count it out, and 3-2-1. Um, Not the two hex that you see in Napoleonics, but interesting. All right, so now back to me. Um, let's try this. Let me flip the card. There's my card. Attack
Yeah,
on
I
my
see
right
it.
flank. Yep.
Hmm.
All right. Order these 3 units. So he's gonna go 1, 2. Um, he's gonna go 1, 2, and he won't attack.
He
And
couldn't attack if he wanted.
yeah, right. well, that's true. He can do range. No, he's only can do melee, correct?
There
You
is no
s-
such thing as melee in memoir, but we call it a close assault here.
right,
But if you move, so Japanese infantry, if they move two, they can battle in close assault only.
right. Okay, so
And
he can
so,
move.
so if right, but if so, he if he wants to battle next turn from the from the hex he's at, he would be capable of rolling one die against that infantry that is in the forward jungle there that's being close assaulted by the other guy.
And that's because there's as you're coming out of, is he in jungle or marsh?
But um,
This
well,
guy.
I was saying if he stays in place, then he would be able to roll one die against the jungle. But he
Oh,
can't roll one die against the jungle now because he moved two and he's not in close assault.
right, right, exactly. Yeah, that's where I was going with that. Okay. Um, and then let's see. And then my other guy, I'll have him go here and here.
Okay.
And
So I can
since
see you're trying to kill me.
I hope so. That's the goal, right? Um, so
Well,
this,
only for half of us.
yeah. All right. So he's going to use that bonsai war cry. Infantry may move two hexes to combat into close assault. And then he's also got the, I will butcher the pronunciation, Sishin Kyoto Doctrine. Infantry at full strength and close assault battles at one die. So my kids give me so much grief about this. I always count out the die. So I think in this scenario, um, he would normally start
Well,
with three. He gets the Sishin doctrine, makes it four, minus the defensive attributes, which would it be -1 or -2?
it would be -1 for infantry attacking in. So, mhm. And then it would be +1 for the Japanese privilege. However, I'm
Oh,
going to see
the
if I can
ambush.
reduce that.
Yep,
Hmm. So I roll three dice against you.
right.
You can discard the ambush first.
Oh, got you. All right. Discard. Yep, the ever popular
Okay.
ambush.
Yep. Okay. So I scored two hits,
All right, two
and
hits.
so now he's not full strength anymore.
No, he's not. Um, so that's just going to be three minus the one for the defense. So that'd be two dice.
That's correct.
All
Yeah.
right.
By the way, I find it easier if I do have to count it out. It's easier to do all the additions first. So think 3 + 1 -1
Yeah, yeah.
rather than having to go back and forth.
I think I've done that
But
often.
now but now you're rolling two.
Yep, two. Here we go.
Hmm.
Ah,
And
nice.
so I take off my two hits and I draw before you draw, since that's the
Okay.
only attack you can do.
All right. Did you draw? Let's see. Oh
Yes,
yeah,
I
you
did.
got it. All right. You
And
drew.
you should see that in the dialogue there.
Yep, I just saw it up there. So I'll draw and then end the turn.
Hmm.
So the first
Okay,
blood
now
drawn
what
on
do
both sides. Yeah, it's funny.
I?
One of the expansions I bought back during COVID was for some reason it was printed in French, and so the ambush card is ambuscado.
Hmm.
That became the house rule, even
Hmm.
when we were playing with one of the American versions. What my son
That
would
sounds
whip
like,
out the
mhm,
card,
mhm,
ambuscado.
yeah. I think the French one has an E at the end rather than an O. It sounds like you got a Spanish one there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. As my wife would attest, an
Mhm.
aptitude for foreign language is not in my skill
Uh-huh.
set.
Okay. Okay. Well, um, I do not like this not one little bit. Um, Let me think a little here.
Take your time.
It's an ugly choice. Okay. Okay. I got medics here.
Medics. All right.
Okay, so I roll 6 dice on guess who? The only person I'm eligible to or to roll on. And stars are recoveries and infantry. So basically, I recover myself up to full strength.
Yep.
Okay, and he's going to stay put, and he's going to roll against your 2 fig. And I roll. Oops! I just accidentally recovered a figure there too. Okay, so I'm rolling 3 dice against him,
Yep.
and only got 1 figure off of him.
He still lives. Yeah, it's interesting. Memoir, unlike in Napoleonics, where the firing gets reduced to the strength, you don't have that in either. As you mentioned, Battle Cry, I've played that as well, or Memoir, which is kind of interesting. It puts a premium on, once you start grinding a unit down, definitely taking them all the way to death. Um,
Mhm.
all right, so what do I want to do here? Uh, let's see. All right, we'll play General
Ooh,
Advance.
ouch! Nice card.
Let's see. Order, 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 order. Let's see. So two in each section. All right. So we'll go. Let's see. One, two.
He can only move 1 hex coming out of the marsh.
Oh, all right. Let me move him back. There we go. No battle. What about coming out of the jungle?
He can move 2 if he wants.
All right. Uh, no battle. Um, all right. So we will start. That's all my movement. So we'll
Hmm.
start here. So he would be attacking with 3 dice -1 for the defensive benefit for 2 dice,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
All right. 2 dice.
Okay, I
Um,
will ignore that flag.
yeah. All right. And, he'll stay focused on the same unit. So he's normally 3, but he gets his doctrine. So he gets 1. So that would make him 4 -1. So back to 3 dice.
Correct.
All right. And two
So 2 hits
hits.
there.
I can take that. Uh, and then this
And it's
guy.
always it, it's always good to clear off targets so there's never more than 1 target marker on the board at any time. That way
Well,
there's no
how do you?
ambiguity about who's being attacked.
Yeah. How do you
Control
clear?
V, either Control V or Control N. N would be no battle. V would remove the marker altogether.
Uh, so I put no battle on my guy.
You can
Is
put no
that all
battle
I
on my
need?
guy too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Perfect. That's the first time I've run into that. That's a good little trick. I like that.
Yep. Hey, some of my
Um,
best friends are perfect.
nice. All right. So my last battle will be there in the center. We'll extend the battle over
Yep.
a little bit. So that's going to be three. He gets the doctrine, makes him four against a defensive effect -1 for 3 dice.
Yep.
Two
And two hits
hits.
there.
I'll take that. All right. Overall, good shooting. The powder's not dry. All right. So let me draw up and then end the turn and back over to you.
Okay, I got to do a little thinking here. Okay, and I got one in each section also.
All right. Let me move.
Okay, it's going to be him on the left and him on the right and him in the middle. And yeah, we'll do. Okay, so I've done my moving. I'm going to start with 3 dice from him against that.
All right.
That was
Ouch.
useful.
That was helpful. One, two, three.
Okay, and I'm just dragging a rectangle over both of those units. Ooh, that didn't take. Usually, you can drag the rectangle over 2 units and hit them both at the same time. Now, 3 dice from him against that guy on the right.
All right. Ouch.
Already, already a 2.
Here's your two.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and 3 dice from him against that.
Yep. He's hanging out there.
Not for
Ouch.
long.
Not for long. Got the first casualty.
Okay, and I'm gonna not take ground. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, back to me. So, boy, that's interesting. Uh, let's see. One, two, three, four. All right, let's go here with this card.
Ooh, I'm jealous of your hand here.
Yeah, it was a nice hand. I can't complain with the hand, which the viewers all saw. Now, just as a rule clarification, I looked this up, but I'll state it for anybody viewing. Um, you can move into a jungle and then attack out of it as long as you moved into it from the adjacent hex.
That is
Which,
correct.
yeah, which your tank just did. Actually, it kind of illustrated it. All right, so there are my
And my
four.
infantry on the right did too.
Yeah.
My infantry on the right did that too.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Good example. All right, so those are my 4 units. So this guy's going to move here. He's going to move there, and this guy will move there. So we will uh, attack here first. So we've got the 3 battle die plus the doctrine makes it 4 minus 1 for the defense for 3.
Correct. Ooh,
Oh,
that's interesting.
very interesting.
Extremely interesting. Okay, well, I'm going to not ignore that flag, so I'm going to come back here.
Oh, you're going to go back
And
2. Ah,
yeah.
oh, you see, now that's an experienced
Mhm.
player. I would have said, oh, you got to go back 1. You got the value of the trench. Um, Nicely done. All right. Well, that stymies me. I was hoping for a kill. He'll advance in. Um,
Mhm.
let's
Yeah, so
see.
you're not unhappy there.
Yeah, I would have preferred a hit. Um, and then had your man only retreated 1 or stood in place, then this guy would have had an opportunity for the kind of the flanking kill. As it is now, um, I have to attack the guy he's closest to, which is over here. So I can't get a kill. Oh, yeah, extremely because I'm only rolling 3 dice. Because again, 3 base, 1 plus the doctrine into a -1 defensive benefit for 3 dice there.
Correct.
All right,
And I will ignore the flag and I'll remove the 2 casualties.
all right, all right. On the other side, we're gonna go here. Target would be 3 plus the 1 minus the 1 for 3 dice.
Correct?
And there we go.
Okay,
Oh,
1 hit, and I will ignore the flag. And the British special privilege is a battle back because I was left with 1 figure and did not retreat.
it's called the
So
stiff
I get a
upper
1
lip,
die
I
battle
think.
back.
They
Yep.
call that stiff upper lip. Yeah, it's an
Yep.
interesting little dynamic.
Okay, so I'm going to roll that, and that's
Ah,
a hit.
eliminating my doctrine on the next one. Oh, that's unfortunate. All right.
That's relative.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Every comment I make, Sam would feel the exact opposite. Um, and actually, so we'll continue. I remark that as a target. So these guys will battle with 3 minus 1 for the defender, so for 2 dice.
Okay, that is correct.
There we
And so
go.
you got yourself a kill,
Got a kill.
and
And
I
he
will
will
remove that
advance into,
sandbag.
yeah, he'll advance to
Yep,
take the cover of the jungle.
he's
And
allowed to do that.
yeah, so that's the last one. All right. So not too bad. I got a kill. I'm on the board. We'll draw up and then we'll end the turn and back over to Sam.
Okay. And so I think I know what I want to do here. I've got 2 units in the center, and it's going to be this guy and let's do this guy. Okay. So first things first, we're going to do 3 dice from him against that.
All right.
And that's a kill.
Got him again.
Okay. I choose not to take ground.
I think that's prudent.
And next we're going to do 3 dice, sorry, 2 dice from him against the 1 fig there.
And why is it 2?
because I'm attacking into a jungle. So it's 3 - 1.
Okay. So it's three and then the minus one. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and got him
Got him.
on the hex of death.
Yep.
And I choose not to take ground here also. And so I will end my turn.
All right. Well. All right. Let's try this little guy. The
Ooh,
classic pincher move.
these multi-section cards.
Yeah.
Where'd you buy them?
I'm sure it'll even out and I'll get some crappy cards. Um, all right, so there's my 4 units marked. He's gonna go one, two, nobody to attack. He'll go one, two. Um, we're gonna get a little aggressive. We're gonna move like that. Rather than have the both of them gang up on one person, we're going to hope that we can make two separate attacks and get some lucky die at this point because I'm down 4-1 and I'm feeling a little bit of pressure. So that's the movements. Uh, let's go here. So it'd be 3 + 1 - 1 for 3 dice.
Correct.
There we
And
go.
so
That
you
paid
got
off.
yourself a kill.
Yeah. And
Oops.
let's see, there's no
Hang on just a
benefit.
second.
Pardon me?
I just wanted to remove the casualties and delete the sandbag.
Oh, all right. I don't think there's any advantage to taking ground, so he'll stay put. Uh, all right, so here we'll just repeat that. So it'd be 3 + 1, but there's no defensive benefit, so it'd stay at 4 dice.
Correct.
All right, there we go.
And that's another kill.
All right, and he will take ground.
Mm.
All right. So then the one remaining on the other side will be 3 + 1 with the doctrine, -1 for the jungle, 3 dice.
Correct.
All right. There we go. There's your
And
die
I cannot
evening out.
ignore that flag, so I'm going to go here.
All right. And I can take ground because you retreated, right?
That is correct.
All right. So he'll move on in, cover jungle. Um, and that's my last account. I can't complain with that. Pulled almost even
Okay.
in terms of kills.
Mm-hmm.
So let's
Yep.
draw the command card and then end the turn. I think I'm on a nice edge here.
Okay. Well, I'm going to actually play a really big card here. One on the left.
Ah, your irony's not lost on me.
And so attacking here. 3 dice.
All right.
2 hits.
Oh. Nice. Two
And notice,
hits.
by the way, for any viewers, the Japanese infantry must ignore the first flag. It would be dishonorable to retreat. There are
Yes.
certain cards say flags may not be ignored, but in general, the Japanese infantry must ignore the first flag. Now I
Yes.
get a choice of two cards. I'm going to take that one. I'm going to discard that one, and then because I played a recon one, I draw a new air combat card also.
All right. Uh Interesting. Yeah, the having to ignore the flag. I literally just got back from Japan. I was visiting my youngest son, who was on a 6 month Southeast Asia tour. He took time off from work, and so I was visiting him at the end of my trip, and we visited several cities, including Hiroshima, which did a great
Ooh,
job of just going. You know, their peace memorial there, and a couple things to see. And I had done some reading prior to going, but very moving. And uh, just a reminder of the um, all the things that went on there in World War II, but the kamikazes that they were preparing is interesting. And I think for its effort, for what it's representing, I think Memoir 44 Pacific expansion does a good job of kind of capturing some of the subtle differences. Have you ever read E.B. Sledge's autobiography, which in part was what Steven Spielberg's The Pacific was based on?
no, I haven't.
That's an. I mean, if you enjoy reading more war memoirs, as a young man from Alabama, a promising journalist, and he enlisted and was sent to the Pacific. And excellent first person story of just how horrible the fighting. I mean, all war is horrible, but this was particularly terrible. And I don't know if you've watched that miniseries. HBO, I think, was behind it, The Pacific, but it did a pretty credible job of conveying just what all those soldiers faced. It was pretty bad. All right. Back to the battle. Um,
Okay, I'm just hoping you're out of good cards here.
yeah, I can't say that I am. I've got one more card that I don't think you're gonna like. Well, now's the time to play it. Um,
Okay.
all right. So that's everybody in the center that will order. Now, again, a rules clarification. I think I already know the answer. When I click on this little red button, you can see that on your screen, right?
Yes.
Um, so that particular unit, he could he could move forward here. Would he then be able to attack? He's in jungle, which I think he cannot because he's not in the adjacent hex. Is that correct?
Correct. If you move into jungle from a non-adjacent hex, then you cannot battle on that turn.
All right. So that overrides the bonsai war cry.
Well, it
So
just means that the bonsai war cry is not relevant to it.
yeah. All right. But I think he'll make that move. The other guys, they'll just stay put. So we'll go here first. So that's going to be three. He's at less than full strength, so he doesn't get the doctrine. So it's just a -1 because he's going uphill. So two dice.
Correct.
All right, there we go.
One hit and one flag. Okay, so I'm gonna remove the hit and I'm gonna go that way.
All right, and he'll move up, and
Mm-hmm.
that'll make him a no battle. And we'll do our other attack over here. So he is at full strength. So it's 3 + 1 minus the 1 for the defense. So 3 dice here.
Yep.
All right. Another
And
anti-red
so,
flag.
yep. And I'm going to go here.
All right. So he'll move up.
He's allowed to.
Yeah. Now, just for the viewers, this creates a situation where it's 2 and 2 in terms of the 6 hexes. So nobody has a majority yet. So there's no transition of the
So
deal.
that goes off to the side.
So that neuters it?
So it's not a
Oh, right.
majority.
That's right. You lost your majority. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking it would go from one to the other, but you're right. I forgot about what if it's tied. So that's a
Hmm.
benefit to the Japanese army. Um, you know what I just realized I forgot to do? Uh, so excited I was to battle. I
You can
forgot
you
to
can move those
move those
guys.
guys. All right. Thank you. I
Go ahead.
appreciate that. I'll move them both
Just
to
don't kill anybody with them.
yeah. We'll move them a little closer to the action. All right. So let's draw up and then end the turn.
Okay, I got a little thinking to do.
Yeah, it's gotten interesting. That little thing I did on the my right flank, your left, was a gamble, but it as the dice will sometimes do, it paid off.
Hmm. Hmm. Say it again. Hmm.
It's definitely close in lost figures. The viewers can see that over to the side here.
Yep, that's correct. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to play 3 in the center.
That's a good card.
I'm going to order, oops, these 2 guys and this guy. He's coming up here. He's coming up there.
It's getting hot and heavy.
Yep. Okay, we'll start with 3 dice from him against that.
All right. Oh, nice
I think
shot.
he's dead, Jim.
Nice shot.
Yeah. And now he's not going to take ground. 3 dice from him against that.
All right.
2 hits.
2 hits.
And 3 dice from him. Same target.
Yep. Got him.
Mm-hmm.
Not a surprise.
Okay, and I'm gonna stay pat there. And you're up.
All right, my go. Let's see.
Are you out of good cards yet?
I'm not looking too good.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I now have the majority on the objective.
Oh, right, yeah, because I lost my guy. Yeah. Ooh,
Hmm.
which puts you much closer to one. Well, that's all right. Let's do this then. That kind of decides it for me. We'll play probe in the middle. Order this guy. Order this guy. So we're going to attack here, target this guy um, for 4 dice.
Correct.
All right. Oh,
Okay, so 1 hit, 1 flag.
not what I wanted to do.
No, I think it's not because your other guy doesn't have any attacks.
Yep. Well, my thought there was I wanted to leave this guy in put and then go for the killing stroke with this guy and move him in,
Yep.
going 2 and 2. But I didn't anticipate the flag, which then cut me off completely. I don't know if I'd call
Yep.
that a newbie mistake or just bad strategy, because obviously what it could have done is attacked with this guy first, and had you then gotten the same result, he would have moved in and I'd be there, and then this guy would have gotten the attack here. Um, so interesting. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
just lost my server.
Uh-oh.
Are you there?
Yeah, me too. I'm here, but for some reason the vassal server has blinked out.
Oh,
So
all
let's
right.
just
Yeah,
okay. So
I'll stop recording and then we'll all reconnect. Well,
hmm
although I
okay.
guess, well, I'm running a log file. Let me save the game and then we'll
Oh,
reload.
I thought I was logging, and that seems to have stopped also.
All right, let me end the log file and then I'll save the game as well. Um, that's wild. All right, let me stop.
Um, and you had not drawn a card, I believe.
Let me pull my hand up. I think you're right. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I've got 4 command cards. So let
You got four.
me,
You got four
yeah,
command cards.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
five,
so
five, five,
okay, thank you.
five.
Okay,
So let
well,
me
that's a
draw,
relief.
yeah, let me draw my command card
Hmm.
and then in the turn. Yeah, and so for the viewers there, I had just demonstrated, I think we captured it in the last recording, uh, kind of a tactical mistake in terms of should have reversed the order of my attacks, because once Sam's 3-figure unit retreated, my other remaining unit didn't have anything to fire. So And there's where we have it in a very close game. Or at least it was until that mistake. So here we go. Sam's turn.
Okay. And then okay, no good deed goes unpunished. So I'm gonna play an artillery bombard here, and I get to battle twice against your infantry here.
All right.
Three dice on the first attack,
Yeah, yep. Three dice. He's
and
only two
yep,
hexes away.
that's
And you've
correct.
got
So that's one
a
hit there.
one hit. Let me subtract that. There we go.
Okay, three more dice, same target. Two hits.
Ouch.
Okay, and now I will end my turn.
All right. So now we're down to it. Um, well, I don't think I got any choice. We'll have to play that card. A very
Ooh,
good card. I've been
you've been printing those things?
yeah, I was gonna say, I think in a debrief of this, we would say that I probably had perfect cards for a side dominated by infantry. Um, all right, so there's the 4 units marked in my thing. So let's do this. First move, he's gonna move there, which I think takes away the marker, which
Yes,
gives
it
me a
does.
little bit of breathing room. And then my other two guys can move, but they have to stop in the jungle, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So they can move as close as here and here. So we'll mark them. Now, uh, let's see. Let's not repeat the mistake I made. What will be the order? That's the only attack he's got. Um, so he'll battle with three, and you're in the jungle -1, so two dice. Two dice, one
One
hit,
hit,
and
one
one
flag.
retreat.
Okay, so he's gonna come here and take a hit off.
All right, and he's going to be my attacker. And we'll target, let's see, who do we want to target? I think we'll target this guy. So that would be three. He's full strength, so he gets the doctrine one. That'd be four dice.
That's correct.
All right, here we go. Four dice. Oh,
And three hits, so you just got a kill there.
got a kill. The
So
question
as of this
is,
moment, you have the majority.
yeah. So do I want to advance? Uh, no, we'll stay put. Let's see. So the majority, I'll drag that thing back up there. Um, all right. Well, I can't complain there. So let me draw up. In the turn. Back to you.
Mhm. Hmm. Okay. I've got one more in the center,
All right.
and it's going to be him. Let's see, is that where it's going to come from? Yes. Oops, sorry. Two dice against that guy there.
All right. Big roll. I think if you eliminate him, you'll be able to advance in and basically win the game, right? Because you get
And
the,
that's exactly what is happening.
yeah. So the kill moves him to your deal. And since he vacated, you get to advance in and you now have the majority back. So you get
Yep,
um, the
I get them. I get the
thing
medal.
back. Here, let me move it down there. And that goes back to the rules clarification that we talked about early on, where the timing of the awarding of the medal was critical. Well done.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Even if it happened after my turn or at the beginning of your turn, it would still be the majority in my hand.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so so the score on this battle is 4-7, and the figure count. Let's see, I killed 24. I got 24 hits, and you got. I see 16, 17.
A little
Let's
counter
see, what
there
am I
says
not seeing here?
21. Although you
Yep. Well, I did recover. I recovered two figures.
two, right.
Okay, so what am I not seeing here?
So does that
Oh,
mean
right. So 16, 17, 18, 19 on the board because I've got two weakened units plus two from the damaged unit before. So it is 21 hits for you and 24 hits for me.
yeah. So I think as
Okay.
a debrief, that was pretty well played. The only thing I think I really screwed up, I think on my opening turn, I only moved one hex when I could have moved two. And then that last thing that we just illustrated to all the viewers, where I basically attacked in the wrong order. I don't sense that would have changed the outcome. Um, you never know. It would have just given me another three die rolls, I suppose. But other
You
than
know,
that, I thought it was well played on both
mhm.
sides.
You know, since we've still got one more game to go, I think it's probably better to just sort of talk about the full debrief after the whole match.
Sure, we can do that. In fact, I'll
Hmm.
uh, I'll
Okay.
stop the recording.